4 French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The 3 wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
But before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, you can look and a drift to show off. Ben Gregory now, I love it. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to round number 8 in Season 2 of the CDM Boremula World Championship by F1Countdown.com, sponsored, of course, by Sim Racing Magazine and Abruzzi Racewear. My name is Chaz Draycott, up here in the commentary box solo this evening. I've just forgotten to take Ed's name off the graphic. Ed, unfortunately, won't be able to join us this evening, but we wish him all the best for tonight and hope that he is doing well. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps, though, an amazing, legendary circuit that holds, well, just such a massive place in everybody's heart that loves Formula 1, endurance racing, GT racing. No matter what you're into, Spa-Francorchamps is one of the most talked about circuits in the world, it has to be said. It's a really difficult circuit, though, in cars like this that we're going to be seeing tonight that don't have all the power in the world and not the capability to really get up to ridiculous speeds down the start-finish straight, to be honest. So, especially down the Kemmel straight as well, it's going to be a difficult time. Let's have a look at the championship standings, though, because coming into tonight, there is a bit of an implication. So, Cam Dance, after a really good couple of rounds, and Jake Cranstone not being with us last time out, could secure the title if he scores 8 more points than Jake Cranstone tonight, which would give him a 32-point lead going into Monza. And even if they were to tie after the final round of the season. The last 2 races to go. Well, there's no way that Jake can win more races now than Cam has done. So Cam would take the championship as long as he does that. Pete Harrod does have a mathematical chance still, but he needs to score 2. Well, he basically needs to make sure Cam doesn't score 2 more points than him, because if Cam does that, then again, he takes a 32-point lead over Pete into the last 2 races, which means that unfortunately Monsieur Harrod would no longer be able to win the title. In this team's championship, though, it is definitely going the way of Williams Mechachrome tonight, because they just need to outscore McLaren by 4 points to secure the team's championship victory. I can tell you that Jake Cranstone is currently fastest in the session, and Silas Craig Frolic is here as well. He's just not set a time yet during practice, but there's drivers out there tonight that will be putting in every inch of effort that they can to make sure that they can stop Williams from taking a dominant title victory, and of course Cam Dance taking the title as well. Here is Jake Cranstone out on circuit at the moment, just coming around the final sectors here of Spa-Francorchamps. It's a very high speed circuit around here. It was actually the circuit where we first used the medium downforce setup last season. It made its debut here, and since then we've been running it in the championship basically. It's Cranstone from Perry, who's good to see back as well. Tim Perry and his teammate Kevin Zemstra for Ferrari working together. Jesper Eriksson back with us again after his debut win, and the first win for Benetton last time out is actually Tim Perry has gone fastest for Ferrari by 26 thousandths of a second. Good to see Mike Murphy going well up there as well for Sauber Petronas. He's in 5th place right now. Jack Stiles up there also. Pete Harrod and Ben Chalcraft in the Jordans in the middle of the pack. And there's an interesting thing to look at here. We've got Pete with his usual lid, the black with the Union Jack down the sides. But Ben Chalcraft, oh, for some reason it's not loaded for me. Why is that? Is that because I'm an idiot? It's probably because I'm an idiot. Let's have a quick look then. Bear with me 1 second, everybody. Because Ben Chalcraft should have a helmet design applied there. I wonder if it's to do with this. This may seem very, very silly, but just bear with me 1 second. So we're going to refresh the paints, and hopefully... Oh, it hasn't worked. I'm really sorry about this, everyone, but Ben has painted a special helmet for this evening. And he should be wearing it in the car. If I refresh it yet again, it's basically a reverse of Damon Hill's helmet. There you go, it's working now. If we go onto the roll bar, well, you can only see the white part of it, but it's a reverse coloured version of Damon Hill's helmet as a mark of sort of commemorating his race victory here. It's 25 years since Damon Hill won here at Spa-Francorchamps in that amazing 1-2 finish for Jordan back in 1998, and to commemorate that he's running this awesome lid, and he's actually been strategic about the fact that it's a white lid because it contrasts what Pete wears obviously with the black lid as well. So really cool, I think. I love that from him, and it's great to see that commitment from drivers in the championship. They really do get on board with stuff like that. But it's still very close up at the sharp end of the order. Cam Dance has just popped into the practice session. Sam Fitzpatrick here going around the final couple of corners. And he's messaged me, Sam has, saying, S. Fitzpatrick pole coming up. He's actually messaged me on Discord with that confidence as Sam. So, intriguing. I'm intrigued to see what he can do there. John Roberts will be coming into this round happy. He and his teammate Rob Lundgren got the first points for Minardi at the last round of the championship. They got 6 points between them, and they have now jumped ahead of Tyrrell Ford, who only have 1 point so far this season. So Minardi now on the point scoring board. It also means that every driver, I believe... No, sorry. There's 2 drivers that haven't scored points that have run with us so far. Gilles Gardner, unfortunately, didn't have any to his name, and Michael Jones doesn't have any points either. And Michael, I don't think, here this evening. So everyone that's currently on the grid or racing so far this evening has scored points in the championship so far. But there's a great mix of drivers now up and amongst it near the top end of the order. This is a circuit that really does throw up different results to what we usually see, actually. And there's a bit of wing damage there to Kevin Zemstra's car. Not sure whether that's going to affect his lap times in the long run. Just looking down the order now, and it's very, very close, to be fair, with all of the lap times. I mean, look at it. There's only about, what, 0.6 or 0.6 of a second, I should say, between Ben Shalcraft and Pete Harrod behind him. But Tim Perry and Kevin Zemstra, the two Ferraris who you see here, first and third at the moment. Nico Minardi is currently in 9th place. Nico is the man behind F1Countdown.com, and a huge thanks to him for his sponsorship for this season. Huge thanks as well to the legends at Abruzzi Racewear, Ben Llewellyn and Andy Marston at Sim Racing Magazine for their support of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship as well. And I must say as well, there is going to be a little announcement on the Chaz Draycott Media website this evening after this broadcast is done. So keep your eyes peeled there on chazdraycott.com. And there will be an announcement. I'll post it basically as the stream is finishing and let you know. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to sort out any graphics for said announcement, but you will have to just wait and see. Still, I'll go over the points when we get to it a little bit later on, shall we? So we've got cars out on the circuit. Rob Lundgren is the first car to head out in qualifying. This is the one-shot qualifying session that we have here in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship. Cars go out 2 at a time, which is a format that we tested here last season for the first time. And it is Rob Lundgren and Simon Price, the first 2 cars out there. They go out in reverse championship order, and drivers will literally just get 1 flying lap to set a time. So there's a lot of pressure on the drivers to make sure they get it right. So once these 2 have got round their lap, Rob Lundgren and Simon Price, the next 2 cars will then be lined up to get going, which will be Martin Kenyon and Toby Ward. They'll then go on to their out laps once these guys start their flying laps, and then it'll keep knocking on from there. They'll do their in laps as the next cars start their flying laps. The ones behind them will start their out laps. You get me? I hope so. It's a little bit cloudy at certain points of the circuit though, isn't it now? It's been a bit gloomy so far in the session. There's little bits of the track that have been bathed in sunlight temporarily, but it's certainly looking gloomy, and that's not something I've done either. I just used the iRacing default weather, take it down to 69 degrees Fahrenheit instead of 74. I think it's actually 76 that it sits on most of the time. And then just have afternoon settings. So we've got dynamic sky, so it does move about, but there's no variation in the weather. Pete Harrod saying best video thumbnail of the season so far. I'd say so. It looks fantastic. I really do like how it looks. There's been some belters though. I think they've looked very good this season, the liveries. Jakob Szymanski asking if the announcement will be the Jetta thing. Well, I'm not giving anything away at this point, mate. There's plenty of things to talk about coming soon on Chaz Draycott Media. But you'll keep your eyes peeled, I hope. And I'll be able to give you some news. Rob Lundgren then, into the last couple of corners here. Scored his first points of the season last time out of the Red Bull Ring, so he'll be full of confidence coming into this next round. Round 8 out of 10 in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. Let's see whether he can make something of this and get a decent time. There's that sunshine coming out once again. Back down the hill, I should say. I said Dak down the hill. Back down the hill he goes. Simon Price behind. Martin Kenyon and Toby Ward will now come out of the pit lane. Martin Kenyon next up. And then Toby Ward will leave a bit of a gap. There is a car there. There he is. Toby's going to make his way out now of the pit lane in the gorgeous Stuart Ford. And then start his flying lap. The times will eventually start to pile in on the left-hand side of your screen as Rob Lundgren comes down towards the end of the Kemmel Straight to Lecombe. Going one way, then the other so quickly through there. I love that camera angle as they come towards us out of Lecombe. Look at the weight transfer there. Just as they fling it round to the right, you can just see them coaxing the car around. And again, down here at Speaker's Corner, a corner that's very different to what we see here on iRacing today. Simon Price has gone purple in Sector 1 though. Rob Lundgren obviously setting a purple Sector 2 here as he goes round Double Gauche. previously known as Pouon. I will still be calling it Pouon though, it's just a legendary corner, isn't it? Everybody knows it as that. Simon Price does not beat Rob Lundgren's time in Sector 2. They're quite evenly spaced at the moment. There's a couple of tenths between them each sector, although Sector 1 actually was almost identical for the pair of them, so that's a lie. But Rob looking good in the Minardi at the moment. Nice and tidy this lap, to be fair. Simon Price also keeping it nice and smooth, doing what he can do. Teddy in the chat saying best of luck, Robert. Rooting for you, my brother, with a Swedish flag as well, so it's certainly lovely to see the support for the Swedes out there as well. We've got Jesper Eriksson in the field as well, let's not forget, in the Benetton. Love that camera through Blanchimont. That will be the camera that it's fixed to this evening as well. In the past when I've broadcasted at Spa, there's been a couple of cameras for the certain angles to choose from. As Rob goes a little bit deep into the bus stop, that's going to cost him quite a lot of time in this second part. Across the line he goes in the first qualifying time in this session. Here tonight it's a 2:19.883. Next car across the line is going to be Simon Price. What can he do to beat that? There's a big multitude of different sectors where they've improved and not improved. He's 1.5 tenths of a second off is Simon Price, and goes with a 2:19. Actually, no, it's a 2:20.04, so just over a 2:20. Next up, Martin Kenyon in the Prost. And then in the background, you'll have Toby Ward in the Stuart Ford, and he's setting himself up for a good run down the start-finish straight. Luckily, Toby has fixed his internet from last time. He had issues with his connection during the week and has found out what the problem was, and it was a strangely complex one, but an easy one to resolve, luckily for him. As into Lacon once again comes Martin Kenyon. Just look at the way that the car behaves around here. There's understeer, 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 and then suddenly on the exit of here it'll feel like it's a bit oversteery. Down towards Bruchet. Look at the spec map on this Prost. It's gorgeous. So metallic everywhere. There you go. You can see it lighting up blue again. It's going to go almost black again now as he faces back down the hill. One of the shiniest cars that we've ever had in Formula 1. The next two cars to come out after these guys are going to be John Roberts and John Tusting, two of the guys known as the only Johns at Boosted Motorsport. It's looking quite tidy here. Oh, you can hear the right rear lifting off the ground slightly there from Martin Kenyon. Doesn't use all the road as he comes out of the chicane, the Fania chicane. Getting a good run of it though. He's certainly pressing on, isn't he? Next car behind is Toby Ward. Toby's a bit wide of the mark there. He uses a little bit more of the right hand side of the circuit on the exit though, so could have carried a bit more pace than Martin did. There's a couple of purple sectors here and there coming through at the moment, but it's not constant. And there's me saying that it's going to be fixed to that camera on the curb at Blanchimont. Clearly not. Onto the brakes goes Martin, keeps it nice and tidy. You can hear a bit of a four-wheel drift there, actually. He's done 2 purple sectors so far. It's looking like a very solid lap by Martin. Stays over to the right-hand side slightly. Another purple sector at the end, 2:19.883 to beat. And he goes nearly 8 tenths of a second faster. Great lap that by Martin Kenyon to go provisionally into pole position. What can Toby Ward do in the Stuart Ford? Round the final corner he goes. And across the line. Again, doesn't quite hug the right-hand side all the way. It's a purple final sector from him. And it's 91 thousandths of a second by Toby Ward, and he just about misses out from pole, but provisionally he's on the front row of the grid for now. We know that will most likely change, but still, what a great effort by Toby. And it's a Stewart on the front row now. Here comes John Roberts in the Minardi. We'll go on board with John for the run down to Eau Rouge and up through Raidillon. These cars accelerate very well down here, but they top out at about 146 miles an hour, I believe it is, in this current setup. So you get to about 130 and the car doesn't do any more. You lose nearly 10 miles an hour over the crest of the hill and then back up. It's a very steep hill, actually, is the Kemmel Straight. No one really realises it that often, but you do go very steeply uphill. Nice and tidy through Les Combes, but you can see a bucket load of understeer as he goes into the left. Car not wanting to behave itself there, that's for sure. John Tusting is the next car following him. In the background there you can see Nico Minardi in the Sauber Petronas. It's down into Bruchet. Oh, Tusting's gone in very early at the apex there actually and runs wide on the exit. Here comes John Roberts down through Pouan. Again, just hugging the inside line there, not even risking getting an incident point by letting the car run out wide. Into the next chicane. What's the car doing through here? You've got to clip the curb on the inside and just hope that it doesn't spit you round, because there's certain little bumps within that curb that can just over-rotate the car, even on the exit as well. That curb on the right can be a nightmare. Oh, it didn't want to change down for John there, actually. Didn't look like it wanted to change down anyway. Down towards Blanchimont they go. I was just hypnotised then by the little sticker on the side that was reflecting oh so beautifully against all the other surfaces around it. Here comes John into the last couple of corners then. Does he keep it tidy through the bus stop? It was a bit curby, but it was alright actually, wasn't it? That by John Roberts. No purple sectors though, but is it decent enough overall to go fastest? It's not. John goes slowest of everybody at the moment, actually. It looked very tidy from Roberts, just obviously not pushing it hard enough at this point. Then again, he could still finish ahead of a couple of people, because we do often get drivers that don't put valid times in. As John Tusting goes second fastest by 4 thousandths of a second. Just missing out on that pole position time. Oh, that's devastating. Over a lap that's over 2¼ minutes. That's incredibly close for John Tusting. So the top three separated by less than 1/10 of a second at the moment. And here comes Nico Minardi, a man that's been really getting involved in the banter of the championship. Just the other day he posted a video that was a big meme about how to get the car started off the line. But he's been great to watch as well, really quick. He's just not had the points that reflect his capability so far this season. Unfortunately, Thomas Minot is not going to be here tonight. The next car on track is actually one of the Jordans, Ben Shalcraft, in his special Damon Hill replica reverse lid. 25 years since Damon Hill won here at Spa in the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix. And that incredible Grand Prix where he and Ralf Schumacher got a 1-2. First win for Eddie Jordan, and of course the first one being a 1-2. You couldn't really make it up, could you? Ben Shalcraft's done a purple sector 1. I feel that Nico was taking it a bit easy through there. He's pushed too hard sometimes in qualifying and overdone it. And I think now he's learned his lesson. He's just taking his foot off the gas slightly with how he heads into these fast laps. Into the chicane once again. Still no purple sectors from him. What's Ben Shalcraft's second sector going to be like? It's just about to change colour now in the bottom right of your screen. And it's another purple, so Ben Shalcraft here in the Jordan is on a flyer right now. He's only a couple of tenths per sector quicker than the fastest time at the moment, but it's certainly looking tasty, isn't it, for the Jordan. John Tusting and John Roberts are still on their way into the pits. The next two cars to come out will be Stuart Clark and then Tim Perry of Ferrari. That's an Arrows and a Ferrari joining each other on track. Nico is just now heading into the final chicane. Let's go on board. See how tidy he keeps this. A little bit hesitant on turning, but he gets the car doing what he wants. That's actually really nice, isn't it, by Nico? Great exit out the final corner. It was a yellow fourth sector. And is it going to be fastest? It is, but only by 31 thousandths of a second. It's so close at the top. Three of them separated by less than half a tenth. There's a tenth and a bit over the top four on a lap that is more than 2¼ minutes. That's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Here comes Ben Shalcraft. A couple of purple sectors on his lap so far. Is he going to improve at the end? It's still his personal best. And wow, look at that. Nearly 0.6 of a second clear. Ben Shalcraft puts in an absolute corker of a lap time in the Jordan Mugen Honda. And that's exactly what we would expect from the Yellow Machines at this round of the season. They're definitely carrying with them the spirit that Jordan did in 1998. Lewis Ward in the chat. Great to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Well done after yesterday's race victory. And Jakub Szymanski saying, let's be real, we all remember the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix for a bit more of a volatile reason. Yeah. And it involved one of these, and one of these, to be fair. There was a big shunt on the right-hand side of the screen when you see that accident back. I think it was Mika Salo got squashed between Eddie Irvine's car and David Coulthard's car, and it looked like it should have been, I mean, not to sound too horrible, obviously, very morbid, but how he got out of that unscathed, I don't know, because it was a real horrible pinch point between the two cars as they came together. But I think the worst bit was, I think it was Ricardo Rosset got done for basically barely even lifting into the accident. It was like he went flat out into everybody, didn't he? Might have been him, or it might have actually been, I think maybe one of the... No, it wasn't the Minardis, actually, because one of the Minardis had the accident very early on and stopped near the top of the hill. The other one was thrown around in the middle of it. Esteban Tuero, I think it was, and Tora Takagi. We've got a purple sector from Tim Perry at the moment. He was fastest in practice earlier on, so we're expecting a lot from the Ferrari driver as he makes his return to the championship. He's had a couple of network issues himself, so we didn't have any Ferraris out last time round. Or, well, it was almost like we didn't have any Ferraris out last time round. We would have really welcomed a good Ferrari challenge near the front of the order. But Tim Perry's done 2 purple sectors so far. Stuart Clark's on green sectors, so he's doing his best that he can do at the moment. But it's not enough to go ultimately fastest out of everybody. Another purple sector there by Tim Perry. He's really on pushing now. It's looking very good. Rob Lundgren asking if we'll see a 1998 start even in the dry. Hopefully not, mate. Hopefully we don't have to do a restart. I would not like to do that at all. Thank you. Here comes Stuart Clark into the final chicane then. Hard on the brakes. Nice and tidy. Bit of the curb on the right. Bit of the curb on the left. Very good. Very good. Nice and smooth. It may not be pole position for Stuart Clark, but I'm sure he's going to be happy with that. It's looking tidy. He goes second fastest by only 19 thousandths of a second ahead of Nico Minardi. It's so close between all of those guys. I love it. Tim Perry crosses the line for Ferrari, keeps it over to the right. That's surely pole, and it is by another half a second. Tim Perry raises the bar big time here at Spa Francorchamps. What a great lap that was. Great lap. We've got Mike Murphy on a lap now as well. Unfortunately, Silas Craig Vrolik seems to have missed his slot for a moment, so Silas is still making his way around the lap. I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. But we'll have to wait and see what he makes of it. He was supposed to be out ahead, flipping heck, Chaz, out ahead of Mike Murphy, who we see on our screens here. Oh, it looks a little bit hesitant up there for Mike. He clipped that curb on the right-hand side, didn't he, as he went up Eau Rouge. Mike scored a 3rd place finish in his debut in the championship. Unfortunately for him since then, the highest that he scored is a 6th position. He's still had a solid season though. At the moment, when it comes down to the points, Mike is actually sat in 9th place on 29. Ahead of Silas Craig Vrolik, who's on 28. There's 4 drivers actually separated by 1 point as well. Zemstra, Murphy, Craig Vrolik and Perry. 2 of them on 29, 2 of them on 28. And apparently Silas Craig Vrolik having hardware issues at the moment, which is a real shame to see. Hopefully he can make something of it for McLaren tonight because they need the championship points. It's a real shame that, because Silas honestly is one of the brightest bulbs in the series. He really is, with no disrespect meant to anybody else. He's just a lovely bloke, and he really embodies the spirit of the championship and the enjoyment factor of it as well. You know, even though he has a lot of torrid results, admittedly, not really through much fault of his own, he just gets involved in incidents. He seems to always be on the receiving end of them. But Silas is just such a lovely guy about it all. Look at that there from Mike Murphy. Purple sector 3 from Mike, so he is on a mission now. It's him that's suddenly pushing. Let's stay with him down here towards Blanchimont. See, the cars just get to about 135 miles an hour, then run out of puff, don't they? It means that you can be flat every time through Blanchimont. You can use a lot more of the road than that as well, Mike. But he's keeping it tidy. There's a strange tubular sound effect there as he comes in. It sounded awesome, but at the same time, it sounded odd. Lovely run out of the final corner, that for Murphy. What can he do? Stays over to the right a little bit. Is it good enough for 2nd place? third place. He's behind Chalcraft there, 0.8 of a second off, despite a purple Sector 3. That's remarkable, actually, that he must have lost a lot of time elsewhere. Silas Kragvrolic hasn't gone purple in any sectors yet, but he's still pushing on regardless of what the hardware issues might be. He's going to be hoping to do his teammate Jake Cranstone at McLaren proud. Silas was the man that was fastest in pre-season testing out of everybody, but finds himself only just inside the top 10 in the championship at the moment after a very tough ride so far this season. Look at that car. It looks so good, doesn't it? It's one of the best liveries Formula 1 has ever seen, that West McLaren Mercedes livery from the late 90s. You can hear the car wanting to spin up the rears a little bit there. He's done a purple sector for us, Silas. Across the line he goes, and it's third fastest. 0.5 off Ben Chalcraft in the Jordan, so Ben really channeling the inner Jordan there here at Spa, and well, with his hardware issues, I'd say Silas has done a very good job there. Kevin Zemstra next up, lovingly called Grandad amongst his teammates, but he's a fantastic bloke, is Kevin. Very passionate about what he does. Hates Ferraris, so obviously for the second season running, he's in one. We didn't put him there. That was just how the cookie crumbled with pre-season testing and where it put him. But Kevin doing everything he can do at the moment in this championship to salvage some points in the later stages. He had a great run through the end of the first season, after again having a very difficult ride up to that point. The other car that's on a lap with him right now is Jack Stiles in the Stewart Ford. Jack has really done well since pre-season testing that didn't quite go his way. He's made that Stewart look very good so far, and I hope it continues for him as well. He's done a lot to help choreograph these qualifying sessions and everything. Apologies, it's not Grandad, it's Grandpa is what Kevin is called by his teammates. I was corrected there by Jakub Szymanski. And Silas apparently suffering from a severe case of alcontectitis. Interesting. Is that why you just crash a lot? I don't know. Green first sector for Kevin Zemstra. Purple sector 2 though. It's looking very spicy in sector 2 for him. So he's on a bit of a mission now of his own. Just looking to see if I could compare the lap times, but on our timing screens it tends to show us the latest sector that they've done rather than the fastest that they've done, so can't really see how he compares to the fast laps of everybody else. So close though, isn't it? Once you go from Murphy down, it's ridiculous. I mean, that gap between Clark, Minardi, Kenyon and Tusting is almost nothing. Same again with Toby Ward involved. No purple third sector from Kevin Zemstra. But the Ferrari's looking alright at the moment for potentially a front row lockout. I feel he may slot in just in front of Ben Chalcraft. We'll wait and see. It doesn't go anywhere near the curb, which is interesting. A lot of drivers have gone all the way over on the curb to open up the corner. That's really tidy, that by Kevin Zemstra. That's a lovely bit of driving that out the final couple of corners. Across the line he goes. And Zemstra goes fastest even by 33 thousandths of a second. So that second sector must have been an absolute demon of one, because he's beaten Tim Perry by just 33 thousandths and not beating him anywhere else on the lap. Jack Stiles crossing the line now for Stewart. He feels that was a good time all the way over on the right. He's behind Chalcraft and Kragvrolic, but he's ahead of Mike Murphy. He's ahead of both of the Stewarts, sorry, not the Stewarts, the Saubers and the Arrows of Stuart Clark as well. Next up, two of the most exciting drivers in the series. We've got Jesper Eriksson in the Benetton Playlife, and then his teammate as well, Ben Hoffman, in the other Benetton. Team that, with the injection of Jesper Eriksson, has jumped up the order time and time again. Ben's been very happy to have a teammate on the board. Unfortunately, Sam Bentham has been taken away from us by commitments elsewhere. But we wish Sam all the best and hope to see him on the grid in the future. Now let's go on board with Jesper Eriksson. This young man, this Swede, has been so pleasant to have around. So fast as well in this Benetton. We're not changing what team he's in or anything this late on in the season, because we just think it's been great to see one of the Benettons near the front, adding that extra coloured car to the front of the field. One of the best things about the sort of era that we were in here in Formula 1 is that you get the sort of the reds, the yellows, the blues, the blacks, and unfortunately not the green cars that we would have had, but that would have been in 2000 when Jaguar made an appearance. But it was such a colourful grid back then. I mean, it's slightly colourful now in Formula 1, but it's not what it was. And to have that light blue, that gorgeous sky blue combination at the front with the white strikes on it as well, the flashes of red, to have the Benettons in the front of the field is lovely to see. Jesper Eriksson and Ben Hoffman both doing green first sectors, but no purples as such in this moment in time. Silas was saying that his throttle pedal was stuck open, but he's got it botched now though, so it seems to be okay again. And Toby Ward saying that he can't wait to see Silas get rear-ended for throttle failure in this race. Again, Toby always the joker. Look at this Benetton though, such a good looking car. Jesper Eriksson, purple sector 3. Choosing to, well, just absolutely send it now is Jesper. We spoke to him after the British Grand Prix and after the Red Bull Ring where he took his first victory last time out. And he's just loving it. He's loving being a part of this championship and this great community that we have behind it as well. The wonderful people involved. It really has been a joy to run this second season of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship. I'm kind of gutted that it isn't lasting as long as the first one did, because the first one was nearly an entire year. This one only taking up 14 weeks. Out of the final corner comes Jesper then, and across the line he goes. It's a purple fourth sector from Ben Hoffman, and Jesper Eriksson goes fastest by 1/10 and a half here at Spa-Francorchamps. And I think Ben Hoffman might join him on the front row here, knocking down the two Ferraris off the front row and making it a Benetton front row. What is it from Ben Hoffman? No, he's in 6th place there. Just slots in between Silas Kragvrolic and Jack Stiles, but still a very good lap all the same from Jesper Eriksson. We've now got 4 cars left to go in this session, and we've got about 15 minutes of it left to go as well, so we should be absolutely fine there. And I did not see that they were counting down for Jesper there, Martin. Apologies. Sometimes, dependent on where the simulator could pick people up over their lap, it can actually, I don't know, the timers seem to run backwards sometimes. I'm not quite sure why it does that. Sometimes I think it's if we pick them up before they start a lap, it seems to count down and then just carry on counting down. But oh well. Sam Fitzpatrick next up. He's promised me that he's going to be on pole position. He messaged me before the qualifying session got underway. And to quote, S. Fitzpatrick, pole coming up, ... So Sam is obviously feeling very, very confident tonight. He shouldn't be after that first sector because it's only green at the moment. It's not purple. We'll go on board with him. See the majestic drive that he's got in this Williams Mechachrome. Look at the slide around there at Brichet. He just kicks its head in a little bit, says, oi, stop that, with a bit of corrective oversteer, and once again getting the back end of the car, stepping out. Great commitment this by Sam Fitzpatrick. Pete Harrod behind third in the championship as well. We'll just be hoping to get a good lap on the board here, I think. Jesper Eriksson's done a purple sector 3 on his in lap. Wow, Pete really using that curb there to launch the car through the corner. After these two, we've got Jake Cranstone and then Cam Dance. Pete Harrod's done a purple sector 2. Looking very, very tasty. Oh, Sam is really wrangling this car, isn't he? He's properly on it. We'll go on the rear-facing camera here just to see if you can tell whether the rear end is squirreling around or not. Over the very noisy curb on the left-hand side of the circuit. Hope it all sounds okay, by the way. The car's loud enough. Can you hear them enough over me? Should be able to, I guess. I noticed a bit of a volume issue from the last stream that I've hopefully got sorted now anyway. Here comes Sam Fitzpatrick then. No purple sector so far from him, but it's been quick, I can tell you that. It's looking good for him. Pretty sure he might be in the top 4 at least here, ahead of Ben Chalcraft, behind Tim Perry. Across the line goes Sam Fitzpatrick. Don't think he's following through on his word, and as predicted, there he goes, 4th place. And he's forgotten about the full in-laps. That's a proverbial slap on the wrists, that. Pete Harrod goes next up and knocks Sam Fitzpatrick down another spot. So Pete will start behind the 2 Ferraris. And after the Canadian Grand Prix, that's going to be like PTSD to Pete Harrod, with Tim Perry and Kevin Zemstra around him after their comings together. But here is the only man now that can stop Cam Dance from winning the title this evening, really. He's the one that's going to be ahead. Or, well, he's going to be ahead of the rest. He needs to make sure that he's got nobody interfering with him and his defence of keeping that gap there at least. If Cam goes into the final race meeting of the season with a 32-point lead or more, the final 2 I should say. I don't know if I did say that or not. There's a lot to think about and concentrate on when it's just you on your own in the box. Sorry. But if there's 32 points between these pair, by the time this race meeting is over, then Cam Dance will be a 2-time CDM Boremula 1 World Championship winner. There's still plenty of other battles to be fixed as well. And obviously in the Teams Championship, if Williams score 4 points more than McLaren tonight, then they will be Teams Champions as well. But we'll see what comes of all of that. I've got a spreadsheet on my left-hand side where I'll be doing all the calculations as the race goes on. So please do forgive me if I do go quiet for a bit, or I'll just explain that I'm doing the maths. Cranstone's done a purple sector 1, but that was very squirrely on the exit of Les Combes. I'm not sure whether he's going to have got away with that. Back down towards Pouon. And it's just a green sector that time round for him. Cam Dance just a green sector 1 as well. John Tusting saying Sam should know not to upset the commentator. Well, yeah, especially when that commentator's the league admin as well. The head honcho. Let's see what this third sector's like for Jake Cranstone. I'll get his name right one day. It did look like an incident point, didn't it, Jakob? Oh, Jake is pushing so hard here. He's really on it. But this is what he's been doing all season in his qualifying laps. We've loved watching Jake qualify. What's it going to be like into the final couple of corners, though? Because it's very easy to overdo it into there. Push way too hard. There's no purple sectors coming through from either of them since Jake Cranstone did that first one. He's still absolutely on it, though, so I'd imagine that he's not invalidated a lap time up to now. That was a little bit wide on the exit, but I think he'll get away with that there. Across the line goes Jake Cranstone. Is it pole position here at the Belgian Grand Prix? No, it is not. It's 4th place behind Zemstra and Perry. What about reigning champion and hopeful 2-time champion Cam Dance? The green visor glowing once again for the New Zealander. Flings the back end of the car into the bus stop. It's a yellow sector 4. I think this might be behind Harrod, you know, and even behind his teammate Sam Fitzpatrick. Across the line goes Cam Dance, and yes it is. Look at that, 7th place from the reigning champion. So Jesper Eriksson takes another pole position here in the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. What a great addition to the championship Jesper has been. And he continues to impress here with another fantastic, fantastic lap. Awesome to see it. But once again, these sessions coming down to the wire. You've got to love it from Ferrari, though. Great to see them back at the top in 2nd and 3rd place. Cranstone 4th. Harrod and Fitzpatrick next up on the grid. Really good stuff there from the guys. And a lot of entertainment. And as the session comes to a close now and will be advanced on, we'll take a look at the results when they come through. But still, nice and busy here in the qualifying session. And don't forget, we have about an hour-long race coming your way very soon. Marcus Hagman in the chat. Wow, I've not seen your name for a while, Sunshine. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, mate. There is a name that I've not seen for a long, long time. So, let's have a look then at the results of qualifying. Then I'm just going to go for a quick break. Jesper Eriksson takes pole position for the 2nd time in a row this season after the Red Bull Ring. Kevin Zemstra and Tim Perry 2nd and 3rd for Ferrari. Jake Cranstone will start on row 2 ahead of Pete Harrod and Sam Fitzpatrick. He and his teammate Cam Dance hoping to just outscore McLaren tonight in the Teams Championship by 4 points to take the title. Ben Childcraft is 8th with Silas Craig Frolic in 9th. Ben Hoffman in 10th position. Then we have Jack Stiles and Mike Murphy. Stuart Clark will start 13th ahead of Nico Minardi, with Martin Kenyon and his teammate John Tusting making it an all-pros row 8. Toby Ward and Rob Lundgren are next up, with Simon Price and John Roberts rounding out the field. So to answer the question in chat, where is the second commentator? My wonderful colleague Ed May is unfortunately unable to make it this evening. He was late getting back home as well, but there's been a situation outside of our control which has unfortunately meant that Ed needs to be elsewhere. So I wish him all the best. Hope he's okay, of course, as well. But it will just be yours truly in the commentary box this evening, I'm afraid. So you'll have to put up with Chaz's awful voice. I can only apologise, everybody. But we've got warm-up underway right now, and it's the usual part of the night where I just take a quick 5-minute break away from the cameras, away from the commentary, and I will be right back with you very, very soon. See you in a few. Hello again everybody, Chaz Draycott here for the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com, and warm-up session just going on at the moment here for the 8th round of the championship. After another great qualifying session, we're all basically getting ready to go racing now. I can't really quite get my words out this evening, having to juggle quite a lot tonight. It's been a while since I've done a solo broadcast, if I'm honest with you. It feels like forever, but unfortunately my colleague Ed May not able to join me here this evening. Hope everything's okay with him as well. But we have a great race lined up for you all. And once again, here in this championship, there's so much to look at, so much to see. We've got the two Jordans quite high up the order as well. Great to see the Ferraris back with us on the grid as well. But it's, of course, Jesper Eriksson, the young Swede, that is right at the top of the pile once again in that Benetton. Cam Dance could take the title tonight. He just needs to outscore the cars behind him in the championship, Pete Harrod and Jake Cranstone, by 8 points going into this one. And if Williams Mechachrome, that's Sam Fitzpatrick and Cam Dance, if they can outscore McLaren by 4 points this evening, they secure the team's championship title going into the last 2 rounds of the season at Monza and then Suzuka. It's going to be a great final 2 rounds of the championship as well, I can tell you that for free. Certainly going to be a lot of fun. But I know that there's a bunch of people in the championship that are hoping that it will go down to the final round. Most notably, of course, Jake Cranstone for McLaren. He's been a real star this season. He's missed a couple of rounds, unfortunately. That's not all that's put pay to his championship, though, because he's had some great results, some victories as well along the way. He's won 2 races, 5 podiums. Cam Dance has won 4 races with 6 podiums. And the only other driver to win a race so far this season has actually been Jesper Eriksson. So it's either a Williams, a McLaren or a Benetton that have won. No wins for Ferrari this season. Their drivers, Kevin Zemstra and Tim Perry, are 8th and 11th in the championship. Pete Harrod has come close on a couple of occasions. Pete's actually 3rd in the championship standings, but with only 2 podiums to his name. Sam Fitzpatrick's got 3 and has vowed that he will win a race before the end of the season. He's just nipped back to the pits, actually. But it's super close everywhere you look in the championship standings as well. And of course I hope as well that it goes all the way down to the wire right at the end. We've got just less than a minute here of the warm-up session to go. And then it'll be race time at the Belgian Grand Prix. You've got to just hope that everybody can make it up there. Up Rouge and Radion tidy on the first lap. There's no need for people to overdo it and push it through there and make risky manoeuvres, because there's so much slipstreaming going to be on offer here. Even with the medium downforce setup, there's going to be the usual amount of fuel saving that goes into this race. So you may not see all of the overtaking at all. So that is Jack Styles having a bit of a spin there. Martin Kenyon here just pushing through Lecombe. Him and his teammate John Tusting will be near each other on the grid to start this race. But that is that. And as we look now down at the pit lane, you can see that all the cars will disappear very suddenly. And then it'll be time to get ready to go. So as they now get onto the grid, it's Jesper Eriksson from Kevin Zemstra, Tim Perry and Jake Cranstone on the second row, Pete Harrod and Sam Fitzpatrick on row 3. Then it's Cam Dance and Ben Chalcraft behind them. Silas Kragvrolic and Ben Hoffman will be next up on the 5th row of the grid. Then it's Jack Styles alongside Mike Murphy, Stuart Clark and Nico Minardi, Martin Kenyon and his teammate John Tusting on row 8. Then it's Toby Ward and Rob Lundgren on row 9, and Simon Price and John Roberts line up at the back of the grid. There's our beautiful field, and the lights are about to come on. So round number 8 of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com from Spa-Francorchamps is already underway. The lights were not on long at all, and the whole field spreads out instantly. Look at Pete Harrod on the inside in the Jordan. He's going to try and make it down the inside of lots of them. Hopefully no contact there. I don't think there was. It looks all tidy in the middle of the field as well. Everyone keeps it all together. There's a big group of them on the inside there. Cam Dance now on the right-hand side of Jake Cranstone. Silas Kragvrolic's a little bit further behind this, watching on with the 2 Jordans and the 2 Williams in front of him. Is everyone going to keep it together? It looks like it at this moment in time. Look at this view here from Mike Murphy. You've got Ben Hoffman right in front. Zemstra's gone to the race lead in the Ferrari. I can tell you Jesper Eriksson's in there as well. These guys are 3 wide in this one as well. They don't want to keep that up, because that will cause issues and cause accidents. They're still 3 wide though into Lecombe. I said it'll cause issues and cause accidents, and that is Jack Styles off the road. Jack Styles was on the outside. He gave as much room as he could, but as they were still 3 wide, there was only a certain amount that he could do going into there, and the Stewart is off. He's not out of the race, but he's certainly off. As right now, there's the 2 championship protagonists actually in the thick of it. Actually, pardon me, it's not. It's Jake Cranstone trying to have a go at Sam Fitzpatrick, teammate of Cam Dance. So now Sam can work as a bit of a rear gunner for his teammate. But at the front, it's Kevin Zemstra leading the way from Jesper Eriksson. Pete Harrod's gained 2 places. Then Tim Perry, Cam Dance, Sam Fitzpatrick, the 2 McLarens together as well. So if they finish how they are, Williams, Mechachrome will be the team's champions. The 2 red and white cars with Winfield on the rear wings. And look at this lot back here. Look at this massive pile of cars further down the order. Martin Kenyon, Murphy, Clark, Ward, Minardi, Tusting, Price, Lundgren, Roberts. And then Jack Styles just off the back of this by a bunch of seconds. But wow, what a great view this will be from John Roberts as he sees this huge pack of them all in front. It's just one long train of cars, isn't it? It's excellent to look at. Back up towards the front though. This is the battle for third position. Tim Perry has lost a place from where he started. So too has Jesper Eriksson. Pete Harrod has gained 2. Look at that. It's insane, isn't it? As we go into the last couple of corners now. Pete Harrod and Tim Perry had a lot of battling together at the Canadian Boar Prix. Tim's late on the brakes, round the outside into the bus stop. Beautiful move, but what about this behind? Oh, Jake Cranstone trying it on Sam Fitzpatrick, goes through. Now Sam's all over the back of Silas Kragvrolic. His teammate, he is all over the back of Jake Cranstone again. It's Silas that's watching on here. My oh my. So much swapping around going on. So many drivers being careful and taking their time. Ben Shalcraft went a little bit hot into the first corner there. He's now got Ben Hoffman for company behind him. There's a car off in the background. I think that was Simon Price in the Tyrrell. He's now been overtaken by the 2 Minardis that go through past him. Sam Fitzpatrick loses out to Silas Kragvrolic, but we're going to go on board with Sam because I want you to witness the slipstream here. Just how much these cars will get back up right with each other. They were doing about 138, 139 on their own without slipstream earlier on. And look at this, because of the cars in front of them as well, they are gaining more and more speed. 146 miles an hour for Sam Fitzpatrick before they come. Still close here, actually. Simon Price is down the inside of John Roberts and Rob Lundgren, and there you go. He was behind the two of them as they started coming out of the first corner, and before they get to Les Combes, he is now back in front in the Tyrrell. Ferrari's first and second now. Kevin Zemstra from Tim Perry. Tim's now got ahead of Jesper Eriksson using the slipstream there and all of this. Cam Dance is still in the thick of things, on the verge of taking the title, because with where he is right now in 5th position, he will score, well, actually no, 2 points more than Jake Cranstone. He needs to outscore him by 8 tonight to beat him. But that could all change. There's so much that could go on. Look at Silas there, just diving out to the right-hand side of the McLaren, trying to open the door, put a bit of pressure on Cam just to say, look, I know that you want to defend at some point, Sunshine. I'm going to force you to do so. It's so close everywhere. Ben Shalcraft's got Ben Hoffman still right up his exhaust as well for company. It's a beautiful sight, this, isn't it? Really is. As Jesper Eriksson has now got back in front of Tim Perry as they go into the bus stop chicane. Tim locks up, just gets it stopped as Silas now goes down the inside of Cam Dance. Cam thinks, no, I'm not picking that fight. Jake Cranstone, his title rival, goes around the outside of him. All of a sudden it goes one way then the other. Martin Kenyon's made good progress again at the start of the race. He's gained 4 spots. So too has Toby Ward and the white Stewart in the middle of the field there. Jack Stiles has unfortunately come into the pit lane. I think he might have damage from that earlier incident. These guys are still side by side around La Source, and then on the exit as well, it's the Prost against the Jordan. And Shalcraft's actually dropped 2 places from where he started in this race, so he won't be too chuffed with that initial couple of laps. We're going to have a look back here though at what happened with Jack Stiles. He's on the outside, he's doing all he can do, he's way out wide, and there's still a bump. That's a real shame for Jack, because he did absolutely nothing wrong there. I don't think anybody in particular did anything wrong, to be honest. It's just 3 wide wasn't going to work. And let's just look what the steering's like down here. Yeah, it's not good. That little touch just breaks the suspension of Jack Stiles. Stuart Ford as Jake Cranstone sends it down the inside of Pete Harrod. Pete goes wide, and look at that beautiful choreography there by Pete. He knows the send was coming, but he lets him go in a way that doesn't cost him a bucket load of time. Martin Kenyon here, side by side with Nico Minardi, car number 13 down the inside of number 3. Stuart Clark's behind this as well, watching in the wings, waiting for the Prost. God, these things look so cool, don't they, when you're on board and you've got all the sponsors and everything. I love it. Absolutely love it. Don't forget, there will be an announcement on chazdracott.com this evening, and there will be an announcement at the end of this broadcast as well. It's just it will be in post form on the website once the news is out on this broadcast, so you will hear it here first. If you know anybody that likes my championships and my events, then you best urge them to get here and listen in, or at least message them about it, let them know. Cam Dance in 7th place at the moment is where he started this race, but Silas Kragvrolic, well, he started in 9th. He's up 3 places so far. I know you probably don't need me to do the maths for you, but still. Silas having a good race at this moment in time. Cam all over the back of him though. There's been another move further up as Tim Perry goes back into 2nd place ahead of Jesper Eriksson, and then he doesn't. We'll go on the front-facing camera and you can see it all kicking off up there. Jake Cranstone has now made his way back up into 4th spot. Tim Perry, Jake Cranstone and Pete Harrod are back where they were at the very start of this race. Jake is on an absolute mission, isn't he? Back down the inside he goes in the McLaren. Lovely move into La Source, gets ahead of the Ferrari. There is no mucking about right now from Jake Cranstone. He knows what he needs to do tonight to keep his championship hopes alive, and he is pushing on. He is not mucking about and letting everybody save fuel and worrying about the slipstream. He's going for track position and nothing else. He wants to get into at least second place, sit behind Kevin Zemstra and try and use him as a tow forward. Look at this now. Jesper Eriksson moves over to the left, then moves over to the right. He's got to leave a gap there. They're 3 wide down the Kemmel straight, and Kevin is being swallowed up by the bunch of them. Jesper Eriksson goes to the middle of it all. Oh, there was nearly contact with Jesper Eriksson and Jake Cranstone, and Jake has to back out of it once and then again. And now all of a sudden, look, the pack behind is suddenly in this as well. Wow. There's more battles going on here between John Tusting and Martin Kenyon, and then Stuart Clark in the picture too. Ahead of this, you've got Sam Fitzpatrick behind Ben Hoffman, ahead of Mike Murphy. It's crazy. Another absolutely crazy race here in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship. A lot of you will know that usually in this series as well, the drivers can only pit after the end of lap 10. In this round, because we have so many fewer laps, based on the fact that this circuit is so long, they can pit anywhere after the end of lap 8. So if you do see early pit stops and you think, that's not right, then don't worry, it'll be because of that rule. As Jake Cranstone round the outside into the Piff Paff chicane on Jesper Eriksson. What a move! What a move by Jake Cranstone. That was incredible stuff. Jesper was really respectful, gave him the room at least, but wow, that was, it was evil by Jake Cranstone. He didn't leave much room on the inside to Jesper, but he made it work, didn't he? Wow. Boy, oh boy, that was a tough one. Look at that. He knows Jesper's going to go defensive, so he's late on the brakes, around the outside. And watch how close their wheels get here. Oh, there is actually a tiny touch. But Jake makes it work and gets in front. That's fantastic, fantastic driving. Tim Perry got a great view of that as well. He's got an even better view now because he's in front of Jesper Eriksson and moves up a place as still behind all these battles are going on. I think Ben Hoffman and Sam Fitzpatrick are fighting. The two Williams are stuck with this Benetton. As Ben's a little bit wide out the last corner, slots back in front. Oh, a bit of shenanigans in the background there. Toby Ward has a bit of a moment and Nico Minardi gets in front. You can see behind that Stuart Clark is now in front of the two Prosts who are flying in formation behind his arrows. You get points all the way down to 12th position in this championship, so as long as you're in that sort of top 12 places, I was going to say top half of the order because we had 24 cars last season. It's 22 this time round at maximum capacity. John Roberts, Rob Lundgren and Simon Price still having their little ding-dong. Jack Stiles is pushing on, but I'm afraid down in 20th and last place for this evening's race. We do not have Tom Minot, and the other driver we do not have is Michael Jones for this evening. Hence we are down to 20 cars instead of 22, but the turnout this season has been wonderful. You know, everybody's been so supportive of the series again. The drivers have been really eager to get involved with it after seeing just how exciting it was in Season 1. I can tell you there will be a Season 3 of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship. But I just don't know when at the moment. You'll have to bear with me on that. As Ben Chalcraft and Nico Minardi get very, very friendly there. Abruzzi. Nico says, all right then, Ben, watch this. Round the outside he goes at Speaker's corner. Oh, and Toby Ward says, I need a bit of room. Oh, very pushy from Toby Ward. Don't think Ben's going to like that one at all. Toby has to back out of it there, runs very wide through Pouon, and Ben Chalcraft ends up getting back in front. And look at that, Nico Minardi's gained a couple of car lengths off that as well. Stuart Clark running quite well ahead of the two Prosts. He's actually opened up a little bit of a gap over them now in comparison to how it looked a bit earlier on. We're only on the end of lap 5 right now, and 18 laps at Spa-Francorchamps certainly takes its time. Over 2 minutes a lap here in these cars. 2 1/4 and change sometimes. As here goes Jesper Eriksson around the outside of Tim Perry, the two of them. Careful not to trip over each other. You can go flat through there and keep it easily tucked to the inside. They're not like GT3 cars, these things. As Jake Cranstone goes to the front, he goes in front of Kevin Zemstra, and Jesper Eriksson tries to go in front of Tim Perry. Oh, he's turned across the nose of him. Turns across the nose of him, and Jack Stiles apparently off the circuit, but just a little bit wider track limit. That was naughty stuff that by Jesper Eriksson and Tim Perry. I don't think Jesper knew that there was still a gap down the inside. Definitely a gap down the inside there for Sam Fitzpatrick, who goes past Ben Hoffman. But would you look at this, the whole top 9 all in one train yet again here in the Boremula 1 World Championship. I don't think there's as much fuel saving going on here, because they know that with how much fuel you use over the course of a lap here, you might not be able to save an entire lap's worth. You can hear Ben lifting there. Look, Sam actually moves out to the right-hand side. He's not sat in the slipstream there. Maybe encouraging Ben to go by. I'm not sure. Not quite sure what Sam's plan is there. He's just not sitting directly behind his teammate in front, Cam Dance. The man that could take the championship victory this evening if he finishes 8 points ahead of Jake Cranstone. But right now, Jake is on for 12 points if he finishes where he is. And Cam, being where he is right now in 7th, is on for 6. So Jake would pull a good few points back on him. Cam's worst result of the season so far has been 9 points, where he finished in 4th place at the last round of the season. He's been on the podium at every other race so far in Season 2. And now he's all over the back of Silas Cragg-Vrolik. Teammate, of course, to Jake Cranstone, who Cam is fighting in the championship. Sam Fitzpatrick certainly not playing the team game there. Puts his nose down the inside of Cam. It's been a move further down as Stuart Clark has now caught up to Toby Ward and tried to overtake him on the exit of the Fania chicane. He's going to get it done. Is he? Yes, he is. Inside line for the next corner works for him. But now we're going to go on board with John Tusting, because John's going to get a good slingshot up to the back of these pair. Oh, John Roberts is off. Sorry, we're going to cut back to it. John Roberts is off and the car is very broken. Oh my goodness me, that's what on earth are the physics there, iRacing? Wow. John Tusting's got a great view of this as the battle continues though. Toby Ward and Stuart Clark side by side through Blanchemont. Trust me, that was 3 cars, not just 1. As they all headed through there. Incredibly close. Into the bus stop chicane. Toby Ward's gone deep. Looks like Chalcraft in front has gone deep as well. Look at Stuart Clark giving all the room in the world there. John's going to try and get the run on the exit, have a bit of slipstream down towards turn 1 at La Source. These cars slipstream that well that you can get a run on people down towards La Source here. There is Toby getting said slipstream onto the brakes. Look at John just playing it so safe here. He's doing a great job braking early, making sure he doesn't do anything wrong. His teammate Martin Kenyon is in the picture as well, actually, to tag along. And by tag along, I think he means tag his teammate. In the background, you've got side by side between Simon Price and Rob Lundgren. Not sure what happened to John Roberts though. Is he just going to lose it all on his own here? Is he going to clip the grass on the left-hand side? Yes, he is. Oh, he's going to overcorrect, and it's just going to go biff straight into the wall. That's a big, big hit, that is. As there's big drama going on here, actually. Ben Hoffman seemed to gain a load of places and then lost them again. As Silas is off. Silas Cragg-Vrolik is off, and he's behind the wall. Is the car broken, or is he just waiting? I think he's just waiting for traffic to clear. And Silas Cragg-Vrolik gets back on with it. But Ben Hoffman and Sam Fitzpatrick were both having a lot of shenanigans go on here. So there's Ben on the outside. Oh, I don't think Silas knew he was there. Silas carries on coming over. Oh, I think the car was broken. I think it was broken. He comes back on, and yeah, then he loses it. Oh, that was a real shame though for Silas, but I don't think he knew that Ben was there actually. There's a change at the front as well as Kevin Zemstra's going slowly, as Kevin Zemstra had a slowdown penalty or something. Jake Cranstone went back past him. Then Jesper Eriksson. Wow, look at that, yeah. Kevin must have had a slowdown penalty of some kind. Let me just go back to this. No, it's a bit too far back. Let's go back to that view, sorry. It sounded like Kevin had an issue as he went into the chicane. Has he lost it? Yeah, look at that. He's had a big, big slide. And Jake goes through. I did wonder why Kevin seemed to be on the inside of the circuit and everyone was going around the outside of him. That is very, very strange as the two Ferraris now side by side. Tim Perry trying it on his teammate. Doesn't quite work this time round. I tell you what, Pete Harrod, he's right in the middle of, with no pun intended, he's right in the middle of the Hornet's nest right now, isn't he, in that Jordan? It may have had Buzzing Hornets written on it at Spa in 1998, but Pete is certainly feeling the Hornets buzzing around him right now. Sam Fitzpatrick jumping onto things as well, right in front of his teammate Cam Dance. That's not part of the plan. But Sam is, well, he's confident that Cam's already got this wrapped up, so he says he's thinking about number 1 as the season comes to a close. He wants to get his race win, does Sam Fitzpatrick. He's played some absolute belters so far this season in terms of strategy. This is not going to plan though, is it, with Cam Dance pushing him down the Kemmel Straight. These Williams need to outscore McLaren tonight by 4 points to take the team's championship. And with where Still as Craig Rollick now is. It's very likely as Ben Hoffman nearly goes deep into Les Commies on the outside and then the inside. There was a bit of a move behind as well between the two Saubers. Nico Minardi and Mike Murphy working together. They're just outside of this lead train. But still, in the points. That's all you need to be doing, is scoring points, points, points all season long. For this excellent, excellent train in this excellent championship is once again providing, I think it's safe to say. I hope you're all enjoying the stream, of course. Please do consider subscribing to Chaz Draycott Media if you haven't already. A lot of my recent figures, I hate to be that guy, but a lot of my recent figures show that over 75% of the people that view anything on my channel, whether it comes down to streams or videos, are not subscribed, so I'd be very grateful if you could. It's completely free, you can change your mind later, but it helps me out in the long run. It's absolutely... well, it's not, I was going to say it's a priority, but it's not a priority for me, but still, it would be very, very lovely if you could subscribe. I put a lot of effort into my streams and my videos, and it would mean a lot to see that effort put back in just by you guys. It's just a click of a button, everybody. You don't even have to watch everything, as long as you can just see what's going on. Oh no. John Roberts has a spin out of the bus stop. Probably just to shut me up, to be honest. I didn't want to be that guy, but it matters to me, so I'm going to mention it. Look at these four at the front now. They're breaking away from the little quartet behind, actually, which is more and more battling going on as Ben Hoffman's gone way, way deep into the bus stop. I think there was contact with Sam Fitzpatrick there. I'm not sure whether it would have broken anything on Sam's car. Is the steering straight? It looks okay. But there was some shenanigans going on there. Pete Harrod now sitting behind these guys has suddenly dropped into 8th place. He's probably thought, stuff that. Bit of a drift there from Pete. It's very like him, to be fair. James Holman in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Another fantastic race on CDM indeed. We've got great entertainment here at Spa tonight. It's just me this evening, unfortunately. Ed May is otherwise occupied. And these two, fighting like this, are going to lose the train in front. Let's go right back to the front, though, because Kevin Zemstra has got Jake Cranstone and Jesper Eriksson just queuing up behind him now. They're not even trying a move. Tim Perry doing the same as well. Sam Fitzpatrick now is clear of those guys behind. I think we'll try and push on here for a race win. I honestly think he could do it because he's got that tenacity about him in these scenarios. We're at the halfway point of the race here in the Belgian Grand Prix in the Chaz Draycott Media Boremula 1 World Championship. By F1Countdown.com, I must add. Sponsored by Abruzzi Racewear and Sim Racing Magazine as well. Very grateful for everybody's support and involvement in the series. We have an amazing list of drivers that are just such wonderful people to get on with. And how cool is this, by the way? These three drivers here all came over from Circuit Superstars, got into iRacing simply to race in my leagues in the Boremula 1 World Championship and the British Boring Car Championship as well. Nico Minardi, the head of these three right now, is the man behind F1Countdown.com, that is the title sponsor of the season. And it's awesome to see them all together on track and just to have them in the championship as well. You know, they're wonderful guys. I've raced against them on Circuit Superstars before. Obviously, I was completely at the back of the field while these guys are away. Nico is a multiple European and world champion on Circuit Superstars. And Mike and Ben, good friends and teammates of his on that fantastic game as well. I've got a lot of YouTube content on said game too if you want to find out more about it and watch more of it. Look at these guys though, the two Saubers. It was just fate that they got put together, wasn't it, at this team for this season. And Chalcraft in the Jordan hoping to try and be the Ralph Schumacher to Pete Harrod's Damon Hill, although Ben is wearing that really cool Damon Hill replica helmet tonight. It's just in a flip of the colours, so instead of it being dark blue with white, it's white with dark blue, so we can still differentiate from Pete Harrod. It's very thoughtful of him. Sam Fitzpatrick down the inside of Jesper Eriksson. I said, didn't I, he was going to push on and try and go for the win. He's actually dragged Cam, Ben and Pete up to the back of this fight as well. Up the hill they go. Hello. And look at this now, two Williams against two Benettons. Cam is pushing Sam, almost nudging the crash structure past Jesper Eriksson. Jesper's almost defending from his teammate there. He's late on the brakes, is Jesper, though. That's really, really good stuff. Is he going to cut Sam's nose off? He is slightly. It's McLaren from two Ferraris, and the Williams and the Benettons are getting amongst it here. Pete Harrod in the Jordan can just spectate from where he is. And listen to how early he's lifting off. He's going to be saving so much fuel here as Pete. It could be one of those moments where this works out mostly for Pete Harrod over anybody else because of the fact that he's saved so much fuel. Here's the next couple, Nico Minardi, Mike Murphy, Ben Chalcraft. They go through, and then Toby Ward is next up. He's in front of John Tusting, and then Silas Krag-Vrolik recovering through this point of the pack. He's not quite in the points yet. Top 12 get championship points in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. I'm just about used to saying it by now. Just about. But Jake Cranstone started this race 4th on the grid, leads the race currently. I really need to fix that graphic on the bottom of the rear wing, don't I? I keep saying that. But Jake Cranstone leads in the McLaren. It's exactly what he needs as well, because they need to try and outdo the Williams this evening. Jake will score 15 points for finishing where he is right now. Silas won't score any. And where the Williams are in 5th and 6th places, they will score also 15 actually, so the gap will be the same. As look at them all concertinaing together into there. Nearly 3 wide in the background as well as Cam Dance goes down the inside. Kevin Zemstra says, stuff that. Into the pit lane I go. Kevin, the first one to blink, the first one to pit as the entire field makes its way past us. And down the pit lane goes the Ferrari. Look at them all heading into turn 1 up there at the top. Still Tim Perry, bit of a lock-up from Jake Cranstone actually. And now Jake is going to find himself 3rd here. I think he's going to run out wide to hopefully get a run on Jesper Eriksson, is he? No, he's not. Mike Murphy and Nico Minardi have also come into the pits. They're still side by side for 2nd place here. Oh, a bit of a wobble by Jake. And look at Sam Fitzpatrick. Sam comes out of nowhere on the right-hand side, suddenly finds himself in all of this. Can he go anywhere with this, though, can Sam? I don't think he can. He's boxed in. Now there's 2 lanes of traffic as Jesper Eriksson hopes for a push to the front. Jake Cranstone goes to the left. Cam Dance out of nowhere is going to come through here and maybe take even 3rd place. No, he's going to have to play it safe then. Nearly 3 wide. He's on the inside of Jesper. It's still Jake Cranstone in the lead. Then Tim Perry. Then Jesper Eriksson, Cam Dance, Sam Fitzpatrick, Ben Hoffman and Pete Harrod. Boy, oh boy, this is good racing. Silas Krag-Vrolik has now moved into the points, but that's only after the 2 cars that he was chasing have now dropped behind him. And obviously there are 3 cars in the pits as well, so it's all moved around. Looking at the pit stops for how it is at the moment. Zemstra, the highest of those that have stopped. Simon Price in between him and Nico Minardi. And then Mike Murphy on the left-hand side of your screen. Not long left to go in this race, technically. I mean, we're on lap 11 out of 18. Down the inside goes Ben on Sam. Sam has suddenly found himself not in that lead group. Well, not quite as in it as he was before. I just wonder what's going through Pete Harrod's mind here. He knows he's not really going to be in with much of a mathematical chance of winning the title after tonight, because he needs to be winning this race really to outscore Cam by quite a lot and then run on to try and win the championship. But it's just a great view once again, isn't it? Lovely view of all of this fantastic racing that's very consistent in the Chaz Drake Media Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. It's always like this. Jake Cranstone into the pits then. So the man that is closest to Cam Dance in the championship standings jumps into the pits. And he's straight lining that as much as he can. Look, he's already in the pit boxes effectively. It's not something I'm completely against doing. It doesn't look as great. More cars coming in. Ben Chalcraft there. And then Toby Ward joining on as well. But back to the front of the field, it's Tim Perry now leading from Jesper Eriksson, Cam Dance, and then Sam Fitzpatrick just over a second behind. Let's see what Sam's like in the slipstream here. Does he get anything from Cam Dance from that distance? I don't think he's going to, is he? Although, no, you know what? He is. The car normally tops out about 139, 140, so he's getting a little bit from Cam as Jesper Eriksson goes back to the front in front of Tim Perry. They know it's not about fuel saving now, they just need to be quick, because there's drivers like Kevin Zemstra and Jake Cranstone, well, I mean, they're fighting right now, but they've done their stops, and they're going to be the ones that are flying, pushing on without any concerns over fuel or anything like that. They need to work together, really, these guys, to ensure that they've got good slipstream before the rest of the field pit and then come back out again. This battle's still going on. Ben Chalcraft's made it past both of the Sauber Petronas cars now, of Mike Murphy and Nico Minardi. James Holman in the chat saying, at least they made their pit box in this time, yeah? He could learn a thing or two. James missed his pit box last night in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge, unfortunately, but it was a very entertaining race from you, James, I must say. Great to watch. Really solid result as well in what is a very tough championship. Same with this. I mean, this is so lively. It's really tough to get a result out of this championship, and I mean, it's been very close in the points all the way through. Everyone loves it. But it's Jesper Eriksson, Tim Perry, Cam Dance, Sam Fitzpatrick, the top four at the moment. Sam has closed right back in on this pack. Look at how far you can be back from a group at the start of the lap to then suddenly be a part of it. Look how late Tim Perry is on the brakes. He's not making that. Tim Perry overdoes it. And now what about pit stops? Oh, I think Tim has actually done himself out of a pit stop there, you know, because he wasn't going to be able to cut back across the circuit, was he? Cam Dance in, Sam Fitzpatrick in, Ben Hoffman in as well. All three cars making their way down the pit lane now. Nice and well behaved over on the left-hand side. They'll gradually filter over to the right. Also in is John Tusting and Silas Krag-Vrolik. That'll be Silas first up and then John. And we once again go back to the front because it's these three of the finest looking cars on the grid. This is what I used to love about it. It's almost like Pokemon, isn't it? You can pick a water type, a fire type, or an electric type. No grass types, I'm afraid, in 1998. It was 2000 when we got the green Jaguars. But Pete Harrod, well, he's going to be very happy with himself, isn't he? He's been sat at the back thinking, look, right, I've watched you lot battle like a bunch of idiots all race long, and now I can finally try and get to the front. So I think I'm going to try that, thank you. Out of the pit lane come the cars behind, and it's Cam Dance now behind Jake Cranstone, Kevin Zemstra, Sam Fitzpatrick and Ben Hoffman are a long way off. And then Ben Chalcraft, Nico Minardi and Mike Murphy could all come under mercy or be at the mercy of Silas Krag-Vrolik now. Still, the top three haven't pitted. The rest of the field have at this point, as you see there. So there's still more to change here at Spa-Francorchamps. Jesper Eriksson, though, looking very good at the front. Hal Raven saying I'm a massive nerd. I am. Colossal nerd. I was actually, just before we went live, admittedly I nearly missed my own broadcast because I was too busy playing Cobblemon, which is a Minecraft mod that puts Pokemon in it and Pokeballs and all sorts. And it was a lot of fun, and me and my 8-year-old son were playing that together, and he absolutely kicked my backside on it because one of the first things he caught was a Gyarados. Anyway, Jesper Eriksson doesn't care about Gyarados right now. It may be the colour of one, that car. He's more bothered about the B drill that's behind him, that's Pete Harrod. He's waiting in the wings. Tim Perry has lost a lot of ground, actually, since Pete got past him. I think Tim might have actually been hoping to... Yeah, Tim's out of fuel. I was going to say, I bet he was hoping to pit on the previous lap, but he made that mistake into the bus stop, and it meant that he wasn't able to cut back across the circuit, and I think Tim Perry might be out of the race as a result of that. Isn't it amazing how fickle a race can be? I don't think Tim's going to make it. Or is he? Is he just going to make it? Oh, he's still got a little bit of push in the car. But that has thrown away his chances of a race victory, surely, for Tim Perry. Here are our leaders then. Jesper Eriksson, Pete Harrod slams on the brakes. Oh, he's missed his box. Pete has missed his pit box. So never mind what you were saying before, James Holman. They get it wrong here as well in this championship. Here comes Jake Cranstone. Here comes Cam Dance. Here comes Kevin Zemstra. Where is Jesper Eriksson in all this? I don't think he's anywhere to be seen. I don't think he's going to be amongst these lot. He's going to get the slipstream off them, so he is going to join on. But with just a couple of laps to go, it's Jake Cranstone leading, Cam Dance, Kevin Zemstra, Jesper Eriksson, Pete Harrod, Sam Fitzpatrick, Ben Hoffman, Nico Minardi. Biggest mover in the field so far. He's up 5 places. Could be 6 if they overtake Tim Perry. He's definitely going to get the slipstream on him, so he's going to go back ahead now before they get to the bottom of the hill. Or is he? I don't know. Fantastic selection of cars there, though, isn't it? The Ferrari, the Saubers, the McLaren, the Jordan. Look at Nico. Ironically named, obviously, Nico Minardi. Not driving a Minardi. Oh, he moves all the way over to the left, though. Silas can't find a way through there. Silas is trying to find a way through by driving off the circuit. They're 3 wide. Ben Chalcraft's down the inside. Tim Perry's in the middle of all this. Who's going to brake first? Tim Perry does. Nico round the outside, then the inside of Ben Chalcraft. Ferrari and McLaren side by side in the thick of all this as well. Tim Perry forces an issue down the inside. Very forceful from Tim Perry. We've seen a bit of that over the course of the season from him, as he's now down the inside of Ben Chalcraft. Hopefully no contact there as they go off our screen. I held my breath for just a sec despite still talking, as Nico's the one that's been shuffled out there. As, oh my goodness me, Tim's going to go wide there. That's got to be a slowdown penalty for the Ferrari. And look behind them as well. Jack Styles has gained a load of places back. He could get a points finish if it goes to pot in front of him. Stuart Clark, Toby Ward and John Tusting all within a shout of getting a points finish here. And this is what I love. When these races get towards the end, they still get spicier and spicier. We've got God knows how many cars here. Ben Hoffman's way up the road by about, well, 11 seconds. But then it's Tim Perry, Silas Krogvrolic, Ben Chalcraft, Nico Minardi, Mike Murphy, Jack Styles, Stuart Clark, Toby Ward, John Tusting, all within 3.5 seconds at this point of the race. Look at that. This is why I love this championship. It's not just the trains of cars at the beginning of the race when everyone's trying to save fuel and make sure that they're good to the end and play the strategy game. It's this point of the race where it still gets more and more exciting as we go into the final couple of laps, knowing what battles may come in. Who might be saving fuel? Who might be trying to push for get those final positions? Oh God, I sounded like a Stokey then. As oh, there's a push for a final position. Chalcraft goes deep into the bus stop and says, "Look, Tim, this is how you do it properly." Nico Minardi and Mike Murphy take advantage, but suddenly Jack Styles is on the picture because then Chalcraft spun it. It's such a shame for Ben. He's had so much promise and pace. Oh, it's bent the car and it's wheel spinning like mad. He's had so much promise all season as Ben Chalcraft, and he has been so quick. And another race for him, just a little bit late on the brakes there. I think Tim would have been cautious as well because of the fact that he went deep earlier on. Great avoidance by Jack Styles. Stuart Clark and Toby Ward, I think, came together as well. Behind all that, I think Toby might have gone into the back of Stuart as they checked up. Oh no, actually, it's just a separate incident there. Stuart just came back across the apex. I don't think he knew that Toby's nose was down the inside like that. That's such a shame. Such a massive shame for Ben Chalcraft. It really is. He's been so helpful with the championship as well, and so supportive and constructive with giving feedback on what's been going on. He's just a lovely bloke to have around, and it couldn't happen to a nicer person, the fact that he's had such torrid luck this season. As here comes Tim Perry, like I say, very forceful in the latter stages of the season as Tim. Wow, that's wide. Very, very wide through Pouon, now known as Double Gauche. Jack Styles now into the points though, and after being off with steering damage at the end of the first lap, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that it's always worth a recovery drive in the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. Ben Chalcraft has come back out of the pits now and continued, but unfortunately is not anywhere near a point scoring position. We've got just a couple of laps left here in the Belgian Grand Prix, and I think these guys have got only the threads of their patience left right now, as there's a bit of contact there between Kevin Zemstra and Jesper Eriksson. Sam Fitzpatrick wants to find a way through as well on the right hand side of the Ferrari. Pete Harrod's still sitting there in 6th place, could easily pick some of these guys off before the end. As oh no, Nico Minardi's off. Whoa, Nico is way off. And Tim Perry, well, I hate to say it, Tim, but I was expecting to see a damaged Ferrari as well as a damaged Sauber there. Like I said before, Tim's been a bit pushy towards the later stages of the season. Oh, I mean, Nico's near the white line, and that's a colossal accident. More colossal for Tim more than anything, but Nico's car doesn't want to go in a straight line, doesn't want to behave itself. And I'm afraid that is not what you want to see. They just about interlocked wheels, but there wasn't enough space left there to be going into a corner like that in my eyes. It's a real shame to see it. I mean, look at the state of that. Tim Perry drags the car back. And it's another incident on the tally of Tim Perry for this season, I'm afraid. He's not had a great return to the series in terms of that. His pace and everything was wonderful earlier, but I think maybe a bit frustrated by the mistake that he made earlier when he came into the pits. Might have just been driving to force his way back up to the front and prove a point, and it's ended up with him in the barrier. I know Nico won't be pleased with that either. He was so sad after the previous round of the season, which was his home race. He was going so well until contact with Ben Hoffman put him out of the race, and now again he's been on the receiving end this week. Tim's actually having a scrap with Toby Ward now as they've both come back out of the pits after taking their fast repairs. That's the thing, they obviously saw it being worth driving back to the pits for. Nico Minardi coming back out on track. He's actually been reacquainted with Ben Chalcraft now as well, which is good. So he's got a good friend out there on the circuit with him. He moves over to the left as if to say, go on Ben, after you. But at the front, just about to start the penultimate lap of the race, is Jake Cranstone. Cam Dance behind him. If they finish like this, if Cam finishes like this behind him, the championship fight will carry on into the last couple of rounds. Sam Fitzpatrick is definitely not hanging about, is he? He made it 3 wide into the bus stop there, which was less than asked for, I have to say. Kevin Zemstra back down the inside of Pete Harrod as he goes through. They all know that this is the point where they've got to scramble now to be back at the front of the field, right behind Jake. Personally, I think you want to be the car in 4th place coming onto this last lap, if they're still close enough to the race leaders at that point, because the slipstream you'll get is going to be massive. I mean, watch this now from Jesper Eriksson. Because Sam Fitzpatrick's got slipstream, Jesper's got slipstream. Look, that's Sam saying, work with me here. That's him saying, look, you take this, go straight past me, I'll let you go in front, and together we will catch up with them. Oh, never mind, he's not letting him go in front. They stay side by side through Les Combes. Jesper down the inside again. I think they know by now that that can work and that they can stick with the group in front if they do that. As Pete Harrod all over the curb on the exit. Battle going on here between Silas Kragvrolic trying to get past Jack Stiles, as Jack's now actually up into 8th place. He's having a great run of it now, is Jack. He and Silas both recovering from earlier incidents in the race. This is the battle further down between Stuart Clark and the 2 Prosts. These guys have been around each other all race long so far and having a good old time of it as well, aren't they? I really like that camera angle a moment ago. I clicked the wrong camera by accident then and it looked better than the ones that I've set up. Anyway, Cranstone leads with just 1 lap to go here at the Belgian Bourg Prix. And as it stands right now, with him about to take 15 points from Cam Dance's 12, the gap would be 21 points between them going into the next round of the championship. Pete Harrod would not be in a mathematical position to win the championship anymore if it stayed like this, but you never know how it's going to be, do you? You never know. Let's go on board with Pete, because all the shenanigans is going to happen in front of him now. You've got Cam Dance and Sam Fitzpatrick either side of Jesper Eriksson. They've all got to be so careful into there. It's Cam Dance on the left, actually. Sam Fitzpatrick on the right. Sam's now ahead of his teammate, which drops Cam down into 4th place. That puts him on 9 points. That helps Jake Cranstone, because with 2 races left, it'd mean that he's 18 points clear of Cam in the championship. Sorry, Cam's only 18 points clear of him. After being, what? Well, before this race, 24. Here we go then. Final lap of the race. Belgian Bourg Prix. Season 2 of the CDM Boremula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. We're on board with Pete Harrod in the Jordan Mugen Honda going down Eau Rouge and then up towards Radion in 6th position with a Ferrari, 2 Williams, a Benetton and a McLaren in front. And let the slipstream in begin. Let's see how he does. Sam Fitzpatrick's gone for it on the outside. There's contact with Cam Dance and Kevin Zemstra. There's more contact with Cam Dance and Pete Harrod. Cam Dance is off. That's championship hopeful. Completely thrown off the road. He was coming gradually over to the left, and I think it was Jesper Eriksson that was making the contact with him. Kevin seemed to bounce around off him loads, and would you look at who's at the front? It's Sam Fitzpatrick in the lead of this race in the Williams. And that would mean, if he finishes where he is now, I mean, if Cam can carry on, that is, it looks like he can. It's behind Ben Hoffman. I need to do the maths here to see whether Williams would get it, because Sam would get 15 points right now. Well, it'd be 12. No, that's it. I think he's done. I think he's done, as they're still 3 wide. Oh, Kevin makes it 3 wide there between Jesper Eriksson and Jake Cranstone. He doesn't need to. Doesn't need to. You've got slipstreaming opportunities into the last corners. It's getting desperate now, boys. Wow. It was unnecessary in so many ways from a lot of them. Jake Cranstone was just trying to do what he could do at the front of the field. I think Sam Fitzpatrick, because of the damage, knows that he can't win the race. Is he trying to hold back and give his teammate a place? I'm not sure. Was it a slowdown penalty? I'm still not sure. But Jake Cranstone is about to come around the final couple of corners in the race lead for now. Is Jesper Eriksson going to do him, though, into the chicane? Let's have a look. He's going to go round the outside into the first part and then try and get down the inside for the second part. He's trying to go as late as he dares on the brakes. Kevin Zemstra's gone deep. There's contact and more contact. Keep your heads, boys. It's going to be a 3-wide run to the line, but Jake Cranstone's going to do it. Gets the run out of the corner. He's going to beat Jesper Eriksson and Kevin Zemstra to the line. Can you believe that? 3 wide over the line in the Belgian Grand Prix, and it is Jake Cranstone taking his 3rd win of the season, which helps him in the Drivers' Championship quite a lot, to say the least. Sam Fitzpatrick finishes 4th after leading near the end. Pete Harrod gets 5th ahead of Ben Hoffman, and then Cam Dance behind him. Still has Craig Vrolik next up, and I need to do the points right now just to see how that finished for McLaren and, of course, for Williams, because that means now that McLaren get 20 points from that race with Jake Cranstone's race victory. And in terms of the Williams score, it's going to be 9 points for Sam Fitzpatrick and then 6 points for Cam Dance. So from this evening, no, it carries on. McLaren have not given up the team's championship there. Let's just have a look though at how this all happened, because it was a bit messy, wasn't it, coming into Les Combes. Let's look at it in slow-mo then. So there's so much going on here. You've got Kevin Zemstra in the Ferrari, moving slightly over to the right, hits the back left of Cam Dance, bounces off him. Cam's then unsettled. I think he goes deep and hits Jake Cranstone. Sam Fitzpatrick gets a hit there, and then he goes straight on, so he must have been serving the slowdown penalty later. He gets out of that situation really, really well. Cam's checked up then because he's on the inside of it. He's backing out of it. Pete Harrod doesn't expect that, and those two come together, and Cam is turned around. And then Sam took the lead because he went straight across. Now that's the bit that I didn't see. That's the bit that I didn't see there, you see. Not the best choice of words, Chaz. And then all of a sudden, they get past Sam Fitzpatrick for P1 because Sam's slowing down here with his slowdown penalty. Jake's down the inside of Jesper. And then Kevin just flies through the middle, but that gap is going to close. Don't think Jesper did anything particularly wrong. And apparently a hell of a last lap for 14th and 15th as well, which is Rob Lundgren and Simon Price. So let's give these guys the airtime they so rightly deserve for their battling. But what a dramatic end, yet again, to a CDM Boremula 1 World Championship round here at the Belgian Grand Prix. This was a battle for 14th and 15th, so unfortunately for these guys, it wasn't for championship points in the end. But it's still all about the bragging rights between Tyrrell and Minardi, Rob Lundgren and Simon Price. There's Tim Perry behind them as well. Martin Kenyon finished in the points in the end, so too did Stuart Clark and Mike Murphy. They were the final points finishers. I think this is going to be down to the wire, isn't it, between these pair? Right at the flag. Let's have a look here. This is where the move happens. So this is down towards Blanchimont. Round the outside goes Simon Price, still side by side in towards the bus stop. Simon's going to be a little bit later on the brakes, is he? Just about, and then Rob's going to try and get the cut back on him out of the final corner. Tim Perry tries to get in there as well. Great run to the line by all three of them. Mega entertainment once again. Lovely, lovely stuff. Let's have a look at the top three, how they crossed the line yet again, because that is how close it was through Blanchimont. And all this while, you've got Jake Cranstone on the inside. Jesper Eriksson gets in front, and then Kevin tries to go late on the brakes. Oh, Jake overdoes it, runs a little bit deep, squeezes Jesper to the inside, then Kevin gets a run. Jake Cranstone legs it over the line, and look at that, a 3-wide finish in the Belgian Grand Prix. Wow, doesn't get much closer than that, does it, everybody? Does not get much closer than that. So, we're going to reverse everything now, rewind it all, go back to the beginning of how it all started out, and we're going to instantly jump in and speak to Jake Cranstone. Jake, you must be over the moon with that tonight, because it's a real time when you need to get these race wins over Cam Dance, but God, you had to work for it at the end there, mate.
Honestly, I still don't really know what just happened. That was crazy. I was just talking to Jesper in the interview room, and he was saying that was crazier than NASCAR restrictor plate racing. It was just, it was mental.
Really was mental. And I mean, a circuit like this as well, it's not easy to drive when you're on your own, never mind with 5 other maniacs around you.
Yeah, well, what was Monza going to be like?
Don't even dare. don't get me started on Monza. To be fair, Monza was well behaved last season, but we need to go over that white line rule. Anyway, that's more for me to whinge about in the week, I guess.
We're doing the oval, right?
Yeah, Monza Oval. Monza combined.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That would be a riot, to be fair. We did that in Pontiac Solstices once. As you can imagine, that was painful. But still, obviously a big moment for your championship. Even just the first corner, we're looking back at it now in slow motion, and there was a tiny touch between you and Cam that you got away with, a little bit of a wiggle. It's tiny moments like that, isn't it, that can really upset an entire season. But yeah, it certainly looked like you had to work hard for that one, mate.
Yes, definitely sweating a lot now. There were a lot of wiggles, little taps every now and then, especially on the first lap. I thought I was damaged because I had a bit of a hit at the top of the hill.
Right.
And then through the fuel saving section of the race, I think there were parts of it where Cam was bump drafting me, and I don't think I've ever been as scared in my life being bump drafted by New Zealand.
That's very true. You have to consider the ping when these things come about, and it's never the
Terrifying.
easiest. Absolutely terrifying. But still, you've done a really good job this season. That's your third race victory now, and obviously big points coming into the last couple of rounds. Are you still as confident as you were going into these last ones? Because we all know it's going to be a big challenge at least.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, now I've done a few races. I understand the gameplay. I understand what needs to happen. You just need to be there at the end and keep it clean with the guys, and you can have a good result. It's kind of pot luck, really, I've found, whether you end up winning on the last lap or not. So it's all about making sure you're at the front at the end, and it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about being in the right place at the right time, and you can sort of feel that struggle to get there near the end of the race. When there's a couple of laps left, everyone seems to just lose their minds and try and make sure that they're positioned well enough. Everyone wants to be like third or fourth with a couple of laps to go, don't they? And it's like someone switches a light on and all of a sudden everyone goes for it, don't they?
Yeah, well, I jumped ahead of that at the start because I think I dropped down to maybe 7th or something because of the contact on the first lap, and then everyone started fuel saving, so I just overtook them and got to the front, and my plan was to try and stay there, and it seemed to pay off.
Well, it's paid off so far this season, mate, and you've obviously got big championship points out of it. Before we let you go, though, before the last couple of rounds of the season, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Ellen, her parents, my mum, my grandparents, I think, also watching probably tomorrow morning. Thank you for the support. All my friends from other leagues, whoever might be watching, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on a good show.
Thanks very much, Jake. Great to speak to you again, mate. Well done on another win, and we'll see you at Monza. Have a good week.
Cheers, bye.
Jake Cranstone there, race winner this evening, and well, he certainly had to work hard for it, and so too did the man that only just missed out and finished in second place. I know he's going to be a happy boy, though. Jesper Eriksson. Jesper, another great race filled with action, bumping and barging all over the place. It nearly all went wrong on the last lap. Talk us through it.
There was like a NASCAR restrictor plate. It was
Jake just told us that you said that as well.
yeah, it was tight. You made one move, and then the guy made another move, and then the guy in front slowed down, so you slowed down, and you never knew who was gonna win until the very last corner, and that was happened. It was a real fun race. I really enjoyed it. Intense, a little bit too intense for me, to be honest. But I really enjoyed it. Everyone is there's such good racing and respect on track,
Well, that's
good,
it.
Good hard racing, just like the old days.
Yeah, for sure. It's right on the limit, isn't it? It's just so entertaining to watch because nobody's backing out or worrying too much. Sure, there's a bit of slipstreaming and people playing the game early on, but other than that, it gets down to those last few laps. As I've just said to Jake, everybody wants to get themselves in the right position to pounce at the end of the race, and when you see everyone trying to figure that out near the end, it just all goes completely mad, doesn't it, again, after the pit stops?
Oh, for sure. There's like two phases for a race. One before the pit stop and one after, and the race is totally different.
Yeah.
Before this pit stop, I just wanted to, get in the fuel window, so I had enough fuel for the first stint and the second stint, and after the pit stop, just push and be in the right position for the last corner. It's so intense. I love this.
Well, I'm really glad you're enjoying it, Jesper. And I mean, to be fair, one of the most bonkers races of the season is yet to come. We go to Monza next week. Are you looking forward to that?
yes and no. It's gonna be like Indianapolis, racing in the 500. Everyone is gonna do their own thing for the moment, and then in the end, it's just caution for caution for caution.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be super enjoyable. I'm gonna enjoy every second of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how you get on there, Jesper. It's been great to have you already this season, and with just 2 rounds to go, I'm sure there's another win in you yet. We'll have to see. But is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
Of course, as usual, my best mate Lucas for being my crew chief and doing strategy while I'm racing. So
I bet he was screaming all night, wasn't he, tonight?
Yeah, I know. Are we clear? Are we clear? Oh, no. And my team owner for also being in Discord this time, and the whole team, just everyone in the whole team, and all the sponsors that we have in the car. Though not today, because we race this absolutely fabulous Bennington scheme. But just everyone from my team, and of course you for today being alone here.
Yeah, indeed.
And everyone on track. Such an enjoyable experience.
Love to hear it, Jesper. Thank you very much, mate, and always a pleasure to speak to you. Your positivity in the commentary box is very, very welcome. We'll hopefully see you again at Monza and look forward to seeing how you get on there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Honestly, I always come away from an interview with Jesper with a massive smile on my face. Like I said earlier, he really embodies the positive spirit of the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship by F1Countdown.com. That was another absolutely bonkers race, wasn't it? I think there's a few incident points and penalties and things to look at, but we're not sure yet, so that's all going to be coming off air. But first, I want to tell you that I'm very excited to announce that on Monday, which is going to be the... oh God, I forgot what day it is. 3rd of July, 2023, at 7 p.m. BST, the entries will be reopening for the CDM. It's going to be the Chaz Draycott Media British Boring Car Championship. Season 3 is coming, I can tell you, everybody. It's a series that we were running a long, long time ago. I think the last event that we had would have been in Christmas 2020. So nearly 3 years since a British Boring Car Championship event has been run, and the championship will return throughout July, the middle of July, let's say, and then August and September, heading into October, with 9 championship rounds, 2 races apiece, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. For those of you that have never seen the Chaz Draycott Media British Boring Car Championship before, I'm just loading up an image for you now. There's going to be a post on this on my website as well with a link to the rulebook and the sign-up form, but it's entries for drivers from Season 2 that will be making their way in. There's a quick look at some of the cars. It's the Volkswagen Jetta Diesel TDI in 1990s Super Touring liveries, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, as it has done. But if you raced in Season 2, you're going to be eligible to enter from Monday the 3rd of July at 7 p.m. BST, and then public entries will open on Thursday the 6th of July 2023 at 7 p.m. BST. It's a £20 entry fee, and all of the information is going to be published just now on Chaz Draycott Media. That's chazdraycott.com. So please do enter if you feel like it. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, and hopefully even half as much fun as Formula 1 has been as well. So, thank you very much for joining me, Chaz Draycott, tonight. All the best wishes to Ed May as well, unable to make it this evening. Thank you to the drivers, everybody in the chat, everybody involved in making this. What a fantastic amount of fun that it is. I'll hopefully see you again very soon, everybody, as we go to Monza next week. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening and have a good one. Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're 3 wide again. Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across. They're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
Before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a drift is going off. I love this. 18.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.